Well, sometimes I go out by myself and I look across the water and I think of all the...
I was watching Black Pegasus react to his first time watching Amy Winehouse perform Valerie. And it was at a certain moment in my life. And as I listened to her sing, I began to cry some long needed tears. But I was not crying for her for the reasons one might think. If you're familiar with my work, you should know by now that my reasonings are generally an inversion of our human culture, which I repeatedly name as lie culture, in support of our recovery from it. I'll play you the full song shortly so you can witness the beauty of the trigger she provided me. In a moment when I didn't feel I had anybody in my life who could be willing and able to pull my trigger for me. But before we listen to her, let me explain why my reason for crying is not because she is dead. If you are familiar with me and my work, then you will know that I know that you and I and Amy Winehouse are the eternal. In that particular moment, when I watched and I cried some long needed tears, it was one of those times when I was in stoic mode, because I needed to be right then. And stoic mode had reached a fairly high plateau and had simply sustained itself at that plateau for a time. This stoicism was my best coping mechanism for being alone and having little relief from lie culture other than myself. This stoicism consisted of my consciously and deliberately being my own relief from lie culture, because there simply was nobody else there in my life to give me relief from lie culture. In that moment, the sudden presence of Amy and the spirit of her expression gave me relief from lie culture. So here's the question. Am I trying to say here that Amy Winehouse was not just as covered in lie culture as anybody and everybody else? No. Amy was as saturated by lie culture as anyone. I have watched the documentary film that was made about her, and there's no doubt that she was no more immune to lie culture than you or I. What made me cry was witnessing how her spirit managed to sing through the layers of lie culture enveloping her.
Well, sometimes I go out by myself and I look across the water and I think of all the things what you're doing, and in my head I paint a picture. Since I come home, well, my body's been maggots, and I miss your ginger hair and the way you like the dress. I want you to come on over and stop making a fool out of me. Why don't you come on over, Valerie? Valerie, Valerie, Valerie. lawyer. I hope you didn't catch a tan. Hope you'll find the right man who'll fix it for you. Are you shopping anywhere? Change the color of your hair. And are you busy? And did you have to pay that fine that you were dodging all the time? Are you still dizzy? 'Cause since I come home, well, my body's been a mess, and I miss your ginger hair and the way you like to dress. But won't you come on over and stop making a fool out of me? Oh, why don't you come on over, Valerie? Valerie, Valerie. Well, sometimes I go out by myself and I look across the water, and I think of all the things what you're doing, and in my head I paint a picture. Since I come home, well, my body's been a mess, and I miss your ginger hair and the way you like to dress. Won't you come on over? Stop making a fool out of me. Oh, why don't you come on over, Valerie? Oh, Valerie, 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 Valerie.
Every human being I witness, I know full well that they are a being of fire and light, the fire and light of truth in iteration, truth that burns and shines and cannot ever be extinguished. Each person I behold, I know is a being of fire and light, covered in confusion and amnesia. And despite the amnesia, despite the confusion, despite the wearing of the lies, the spirit of that fire and light will still sing forth and make itself heard. And I really needed to be reminded of that in that moment, and my gratitude went out to Amy and her unquenchable soul for that. The dictator or the protest singer, the conservative or the liberal, the shadow controller or the light worker, the religious or the atheist. Which is embodying lie culture and which is not? You on a good day? You on a bad day? When are you embodying lie culture and when are you not? It's not that lie culture makes it easy for us to know who is wearing the white hats and who the black, who are the goodies and who are the baddies. It's simply that lie culture asserts that there are goodies and there are baddies. Lie culture asserts that you are a goodie or a baddie. Either you are one of those or you are a passive dependent, are dependent on whoever you let make your decisions for you. Who exactly it is that is a goodie, and who precisely it is that is a baddie, well, this question is left open by lie culture for debate, and it is left open for debate indefinitely. The last thing lie culture desires is a definitive answer to the question of who amongst us is definitively good and which of us is definitively bad. The purpose of the question is to be asked over and over and over, and never be conclusively answered. None of us are inherently good. None of us are inherently bad. All of us are embodying lie culture to some varying degree of intensity or other. The protest singer or the soul singer just as much as the inhumane machine, the artist just as much as the bureaucrat. The inhumane system says, you are food that is perishable. Best that you are consumed while you still possess some nutritional value, while you still possess some life force. The protest singer says, we are beautiful and nutritious and perishable. Can't we not be eaten? You see how both of these sentiments embody the foundational lie that we are not the eternal. If it truly is a case of I am incorrect in this, then you are finite, meaningless, may as well not exist, as far as you are concerned. So, of course, it makes sense that you would live your life according to the truth of that. That you have not and do not embody the simplest living truth of who and what you are is no cause for feeling insufficient in any way. Not a single one of us has ever been offered the inversion of lie culture for our serious consideration before. To put it simply and painfully, none of us have ever been offered the truth for our own consideration before. Not in a coherent way, a way that is sensible in and of itself, sensible to itself, which makes us all equal in this. We were all offered the same lie, the same single lie that comes in many flavours. Which flavour did you choose? The knowing manipulator lie, or the blinkered fool lie? The cleverer than everybody else lie, or the blissfully ignorant lie? It matters not which pill you decided to take, because whichever one it was, you went ahead and swallowed it. So, none of us are wearing the white hats, none the black. All of our hats are covered in shit, and that is the conspicuous, defining feature of each. You know yourself to be the eternal I am, or you are living a lie, as we all have for as long as we remember. The protest singer protests the lie while reinforcing it. Those light workers that speak of the enemy, some of them do see that the enemy they are referring to is the lies that we tell ourselves. But even those light workers will identify all sorts of structured, hierarchical levels that separate the human from the divine, from the demonic. It is all you. The demonic, the neutral, the divine, all real aspects of you. They are real phenomena, and they are all really you. They are all really us. All of these characters in your life that keep you well informed of your lack, they are you. They are aspects of your own psyche in real physical form, telling you that which you are afraid may be true. Just as you, from the point of view of another, are an aspect of their psyche in physical form. What is it that you tell them? What is it that you tell yourself about yourself? The odds are on that whatever it may be, it is a lie. It's a daunting thing to allow oneself to become aware of the power lie culture does wield over us while we are still under its thrall. But the realization that counterbalances the very real weight of lie culture's presence here is the understanding that it originates in us, from us. Lie culture comes out of us. Our taking responsibility for this is key, because it is simply the truth. Lie culture, in some form or other, is what we, the collective, the eternal, produce each time we enter into the great amnesia of self-polarization. We produce our own lie culture as one, together, as the collective that we are, and each of us as an individual, on and in our own relative terms. It's richly different each time we go through this, always a progression on the previous time, while always fundamentally being the same. We produce lie culture together, and we emerge from it together. We are the eternal one I am. No part of us, no single one of us can ever be exempt from this, because the eternal does not ever get a choice about continuing. You who are hearing these words right now, you do not ever get a choice about continuing. But you do get to do it your way. This you have choice in. The fire and light within you, it burns and shines forever, for no other subtle and mysterious and esoteric reason than that it can never not burn and shine. The invigorating fire is only the iterating of a truth that is simply incapable of not being true, and so therefore absolutely must burn. And the mysterious outcome of this not at all mysterious truth is light. You burn, you give off heat, you shine, you radiate light. You bring warmth and illumination to existence. You simply cannot help it. You simply cannot stop it. The darkness of lie culture that you find yourself surrounded by is the darkness of our collective's forgetfulness of this. You are here through no fault of your own, darling. You burn and you shine eternally. And the great living unified field, which is identical in nature to you, because it is you and you are it, is warmed and illuminated by your presence, and would never be without you. To love yourself is to love all of yourself. And so, knowing what I know, I cannot help but love all of you, all of us, even those of us that are currently caught up in extremities of cruelty. All of that is a passing thing. Those choices for cruelty that the shifting patterns of amnesia and ignorance had danced before us invitingly, those choices that taught us what those choices teach. As we clear our heads and hearts of the big sleep, the big dream, the big lie, we can rise for the day and make our choices for this day with clarity and a sense of relief. Oh yeah, I remember. I'm a blessing here. I am a blessing to this world. I am a blessing to my own dear darling self. I am a blessing to the entirety of the great living unified field. I am warmth and illumination. Good. That's good then. I wonder what today is going to bring.
I tried to get out from under your feet. I lived in a box in the road. I lived way out in a tree in the wood. I dropped off the map, went under your radar. I was data insufficient, to all of your surveys was the best way that I knew. I dropped off the bottom of all of your news feeds in the hope that one day, in ceasing to bother you, maybe you'd no longer bother me.